bring their country from third world to first world. We've been independent for how many years now? 66 years.
Yes.
Twice the time that those countries do. Everybody, someone will tell you, oh, but the time was different and it was supported by America and all the rest of it. I can tell you that if you have a credible plan, people will invest in your plan. And if you show integrity, and not integrity only in terms of not being corrupt, but integrity of the plan itself. Vision 2020, if you recall, was launched. Only 1 year after Vision 2020 was launched, it was abandoned. So there was no integrity in the plan. When this government came, what did they say? Ghana without aid. So Ghana beyond aid. But that means that we are building a country which will be self-sufficient enough to fund our own development on our own. That is it. So why is that 5 years later? So that lacks integrity. You see? So when you are a leader, whether in the private sector or you have to be visionary, and you have to have integrity in all the things you do. But I think in the case of Ghana, we have a different dimension, another dimension which, as a country again, we should accept and confront. I'm old enough to know that every country, every government in this country, when it leaves office, is accused of corruption. The military regimes, they kicked out civilian government, accusing them of corruption. They themselves accuse themselves of corruption, and every single government. Why is it that we can't have one government that will stand up and say, I want to leave a legacy when I leave office that will have no room for greed and corruption? Why? Is it beyond our people? Is it beyond our politicians? If it is beyond them, then we would never go beyond where we are today. It will come back. Everything we do today. Look, we have got a procurement act, we have a public-private partnership act. Why is it that our government, all these years, always want to borrow money to do things that they can partner the private sector to do? Why? Why should you go and borrow money to construct motorway when the private sector man can take the risk with government and build that road, and not you government go to borrow money? Why can't we do that? And there's more money sitting with the private sector than with government.
Let me ask you this. You asked a very critical question as to why government wants to lead and do what the private sector can do.
Yes.
What's the answer to that? Why do you think government does that?
Well, I mean, if you want my true answer, I would say, what is in there that makes it difficult for governments not to want to do that? Why?
Not to have the private sector.
Precisely.
Is
Why?
it an issue of corruption?
Yes, because it is all about how many contracts that we can, after government goes out of power, do we not then, spread in the newspapers? This is a bogus agreement, it's a bogus contract, blah 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 blah. What led to the agreement now suddenly becoming bogus or becoming, corrupt? Because the people who signed the contract, the people who signed the agreement, were they not Ghanaians?
Right.
Were they not, if